The middle of week 8, and I've been out of the boot for a few days. Haven't seen my doctor. I was supposed to see him next week to see if I can get out of the boot, but after talking to the physiotherapist, he was just kind of like ranting about how I should already be out of the boot, as it's will restrict my range of motion in my ankle and then cause even longer, longer sessions for the physiotherapy. But anyways, show you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get the range of motion back in my ankle, and I'm trying to do it passively. Last week, here I'll just give you a quick rundown on my range of motion. The first, about week 3 or week 4, but week 3, the doctor was saying, okay, start trying to passively, get the flexion back in my ankle. And I started slowly, passively trying to just move it back. He said, you don't want to use any weight at all, just let it naturally come back just by you constantly moving it. And I was able to get to the point where in about a week and a half, I went from maybe being like this. So this is 90 degrees. My knee's right above my ankle. I was able to go from week 3 to about week 4 and a half to about here. It wasn't quite perfect, but it was about there. And then by week 6, when I started physio, week 7, I was able to get it to about here, which allowed me to at least start hobbling around, a little bit better. But once you get to about here, you can start hobbling around fairly decent. And then at physio, I went from the 1 week, I went from here, where my knee was just right above my ankle, and I really aggressively all week stretched until I was able to touch the wall with my knee. Like I would put my foot, let's use that for an example. I'd put my foot here, and I would be able to touch the wall. And I was able to do that earlier this week, but I think I've been too aggressive with my treatment, and then everything started swelling up again. Like just not nothing too painful or anything, but I noticed I kind of went backwards because now that range of motion has diminished, where my knee can get maybe only up to here now. When I aggressively went from here up to the wall, up to my toes, and then now it's kind of diminished a bit. So that means I was probably going a little too hard on the tendon, and now I have to kind of do what my physiotherapist said, just be a little bit, think of it week by week, instead of trying to make huge gains per week, like gains by day. He says he wants to see little gains once a week. So you know what I started doing? I took the heel lifts from my boot, and I'm going to make just kind of like a really passive, stretching system here. So right now I just have 1, 2, 3 lifts, and then the pad. I'm just going to put her down. Put my foot down. Again, I'm trying to be like 90 degrees, and just put her down. So it's about, my flexion of my ankle is about 2 inches right now. And it feels like a good stretch. It doesn't hurt. It's just a good stretch. Like it's almost at the point of being painful, if you understand what I mean, like the stretch itself. It's just before there. So I'm just going to let it sit there. I'm going to do this for maybe 5 reps or 5 sets of 1 minute, and just kind of sit there. And then every week, I'm just going to add another lift. If I can, I'll probably sneak another one in there. But that's just what I'm doing right now. I'm just reversing, taking the old heel lifts out of my boot. Got a whole bunch. I can probably go about 3 to 4 inches, probably almost 4 inches in height by doing this. So just kind of tape them back up. Again, I got my knee right above my ankle, and just getting a stretch out of it. Just a slow stretch. I think I was a little too aggressive this week by throwing off the boot, and I was walking like crazy this week. Probably 2 to 3 hours of walking a day at least, maybe even more. I was on my feet most of the day, and I think it just kind of like I kind of just did too much for the old tendon this week, and I noticed the range of motion. That's what the doctor was telling me. He said, or not the doctor, the physiotherapist. The doctor said use pain as your guide, but the physiotherapist thought that was the stupidest thing to say, because everyone's pain tolerance is totally different. You can have one guy who doesn't feel pain until shit just starts ripping apart, and you have others who feel pain just by, someone looking at them funny. So in reality, don't use pain as your guide to this, because again, pain tolerance is totally different from individual to individual. Use, how your body reacts. If all of a sudden I start swelling up, and right now I use these socks as my gauge to swelling up. You can see right now, it's not so bad. The line of the socks isn't so bad. So there's swelling now, but it's not so bad. But yesterday, I would take this off and you can see like a little, maybe a centimeter bulge from the sock line. So the swelling and loss of range of motion is what indicates whether or not you're going too aggressive with your physio, and you're actually causing a little bit of damage because the inflammation is kicking in to start preventing you from doing any more damage. So just keep that in mind. So this is my little device. Every day I'm gonna do about maybe 5 minutes of stretching in the morning, and about 5, like very passive. See how passive it is? I'm just putting it like that and just letting it sit there like this. Very passive stretching in the morning, and maybe another 5 minutes, five sets of 1 minute of passive stretching at night. And you know what? The rest of the day I'm on my feet all day anyway. So probably by night, maybe I'll do another video at night. You can see the difference. But I think by the nighttime, this area here will be puffed up a little bit more. This whole area will be a little bit more swollen just from being on my feet for 3/4 of the day, or at least half the day, constantly just walking around on my feet. Anyways, hopefully this video was informative for anyone out there that's got this shitty ass injury. All right, take care.